It's Friday, May 8th. I'm Paul Hukalak. Welcome to TV7.ca News. Lisa's off this week. Well, this week is Mental Health Week, and the city has a support line if you need some help. The new personal tax deadline is around the corner, and Crystal Lucier will be here with that and other important COVID-19 related filing dates. And the province launched a new contact tracing app they want you to download. All that and more. But first, well, at the May 4th council meeting, administration made recommendations on extending the existing closures and cancellations in accordance with direction from the Chief Medical Officer of Health, Alberta Health Services, and the Government of Alberta. Our indoor and outdoor recreation and cultural facilities operated by the city or its partners will remain closed to the public for as long as the public health order is in place. Administration is recommending that all scheduled city events that fall into the scope of the public health order regarding restrictions on mass gatherings and requirements for physical distancing be cancelled, and no new events will be allowed. The only exception to the city's event cancellations is the St. Albert Farmers Market. For more information about the city's COVID-19 response, check out their website. Well, the new and potentially improved deadline for personal income tax is coming soon. And here's Crystal Lucier with that update and more with Financial Focus.
I want money.
Good morning and thank you. We've been going through COVID-19 for quite some time now. I know it's been a couple of months and we have some deadline dates coming up that we should know about. One of the most important is the June 1st tax deadline. Our April 30th deadline was pushed to June 1st. It's important that you make sure that your taxes are filed by that June 1st deadline, because if they're not, you risk losing your GST and Canada Child Benefit payments that come to you on a regular basis from CRA. Those are calculated using your 2019 income taxes for the 2020 payment year. Those payments start in July, and if CRA doesn't have your income tax in time, they're not going to be able to calculate those payments and make sure that you get them on the right dates come July. One of the other important dates is May 20th. We've talked about this a couple of times before. Your Canada Child Benefit is going to be increased in this month on the 20th with your other Canada Child Benefit payment that normally comes to you on the 20th. They're increasing that payment by $300 per child unless you have shared custody. If you have shared custody, like your Canada Child Benefit, you get half of that. So you'll get an increase of $150 per child for the month of May only. The other thing that people are talking about are the deadline dates that are looming for the wage subsidies, the temporary wage subsidies, and the rental assistance programs. So it's important that you know what those deadline dates look like. For majority of those programs, the program ends on a certain date, but if you have a payment that's outstanding, you'll still receive it up to that date. So, for example, the wage subsidy ends on June 6th. That doesn't mean that you can't receive any funds after June 6th. It just means that the program end date for payroll is June 6th. So June 6th is the last payroll date, payment date that you can receive that wage subsidy for. There is an August 31st payment deadline looming for any balances due to CRA. So those were deferred. They were saying if you owe tax dollars, if you owe GST money during COVID-19, during these months, during the spring, that they will defer interest-free all payments to August 31st. So make sure that you're aware that your payments now will start incurring interest or penalties if not paid or filed by August 31st. The temporary wage deduction of 10%, where you're reducing your remittance to the government for any payroll that you're making, only goes until June 11th payroll deadline date. So again, that doesn't mean that you have to have that remittance and deductions done on June 11th, but what it means is that your payroll period ending June 11th is the last payroll period that you can take that deduction from. The CECRA, the Rental Assistance Program, is only for the months of April, May, and June. So it's important that if you're making application through your landlord for that program, that you've done it before the end of June. CERB, on the other hand, is the one program that's going into the fall. So if you are receiving CERB, or if you are, CERB is on your horizon because you know that your business is going to stop earning income come July or August, CERB is a 16-week program, but it's not defined when you have to take that program other than it has to end on October the 3rd. So you can collect up to 16 weeks per person that qualifies, eligible taxpayer, but that program does end on October the 3rd. So that is the last date that you can receive CERB payments. It's important that you know when all of these dates are so that you are aware and you don't miss anything. If you do have questions, as always, make sure that you talk to your professional or reach out to us so that we can give you a hand. I hope that everybody's doing well and that everybody's healthy, and we're managing, we're getting through this, and we're getting through it together. So I'm Crystal Lucier with Preferred Tax Solutions, and this is TV7.ca.
I want money.
So there's been a lot of talk lately about contact tracing and how it's going to play an important role in reopening our economy and getting back to a new normal. So what exactly is this term contact tracing? And how is this going to get our lives back on track? Well, contact tracing is the process of identification of persons who may have come into contact with an infected person. And the Alberta government has some new technology to help automate this process. The AB Trace Together app is a voluntary mobile tracing app that uses your cell phone's Bluetooth technology to track your daily contacts. Now, we've all used Bluetooth to connect our phones wirelessly to our cars or our headphones or other things, and now we can use it to be notified of a potential COVID-19 exposure. The Bluetooth antenna on your phone is searching for other Bluetooth-enabled devices, and when another person comes within a 10-meter radius of you, your phone and their phone can see each other. As long as you have your Bluetooth enabled on your phone, these interactions are happening all day long without your knowledge. It might sound a little questionable to some, but keep in mind that without your approval, the connection between devices will be declined and cannot pursue. This way, the user has complete control over the approved or paired devices. Now, the AB Trace Together app simply logs these rejected Bluetooth interactions. And once a COVID-19 case is confirmed, Alberta Health can access the logged connections of the infected person, notifying the other app user who have been within Bluetooth range of that infected user. Contact tracing is a powerful tool in stopping the spread of COVID-19. The AB Trace Together app is completely voluntary. However, if we ever want to reopen the economy and get back to a new normal, resources like these need to be implemented. Now, for more information about this app, check out the Alberta government's website. Well, as we all have hopefully enjoyed, spring is in fact in the air, hopefully to stay this time, and COVID-19 restrictions are getting relaxed, and cyclists are hitting our city's trails. If you're planning on taking your bike out, the RCMP would like to remind you to adhere to the bike safety regulations within the community. Now, in our city, both adults and children are required to wear a bike helmet. Failure to do so could result in a $100 fine. And if you're caught without a bell or a horn, you could be facing an additional $81 fine. Now, according to an RCMP spokesperson, quote, head injury is the leading cause of death from a bicycle collision, and cyclists who choose not to wear helmets are 3 times more likely to suffer head injuries in a crash. In our city, cyclists are permitted to ride their bikes on the sidewalks. However, they must yield the right of way to pedestrians and cannot operate in a reckless manner. Cyclists on sidewalks must dismount and walk across roadways and intersections. If you dismount and walk alongside your bicycle, you are considered a pedestrian and have the same rights as a pedestrian. If you choose to ride on the roadway, you are being reminded that you must follow the rules of the road and have the same rights and responsibilities as a driver of a motor vehicle. Cyclists must yield to pedestrians, stop for stop signs and red lights, and travel with the flow of traffic. If you're riding a bicycle, you are considered by law a vehicle on the road. Also, remember the 2 meter social distancing guidelines will still apply to you as a cyclist. So if you're going to take your bike out and enjoy our city, and please do so, please stay safe, obey the rules, and have fun. Mental Health Week is upon us, and our city recognizes that with COVID-19 life, it's particularly hard for a lot of us right now, and they want to remind us that there are resources for those who are struggling. Now, if in fact you are in need, you can call the Community Supports Line at 780-459-1756, operating Monday to Friday between 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. This support line can help seniors, youth, and people with disabilities with childcare support, food assistance, counseling, and housing or shelter support. In addition, the Canadian Mental Health Association has a variety of resources available that can be accessed on this website at www.mentalhealthweek.ca. Laura Watmo is a contemporary fine artist and owner of the Hidden Talent Fine Art School, and she's our very own Memory Roth's guest on this week's Art in the City.
Hi everyone, I'm here once again in my home studio and gallery, and today I am talking to St. Albert artist Laura Watmo. Laura is not only an artist, she is also the owner and teacher of Hidden Talent Art School. Hi Laura.
Hi, Memory. Nice to be here.
Oh, it's nice to see you again. How are you doing during this pandemic?
Oh, it has been an interesting transition from full classes to no classes, and it's kind of a nice opportunity to get more creative, have a little bit of growth, to try new things, and take my students along on that same journey.
Well, that's great. That's really good. So, you've been in St. Albert for a while. How long have you lived here?
We have been here over 30 years. So we moved
Wow.
from Edmonton, and I've been teaching for 20 of those 30 years. So it's been a wonderful time in St. Albert, and it's a great community to be part of the art scene.
Oh, for sure. So, when did you discover that you wanted to be an artist?
Oh, goodness. I think I always got in trouble in school for scribbling in my notebooks. And I do remember in grade 6, I had to do a complete notebook over. But a little bit later on, I started doing murals way back in the day when I was in grade 11 on people's walls. And that was a big start. And then I got a lot of validation when I went to university and got into the fine art course without taking fine art required courses. So it was kind of a surprise. And then I furthered what I wanted to do with expert instruction in the local area, then the regional area, and then actually I went to a lot of international teachers. It was quite a good experience because at the time I was still a realist artist, and there was very specific people you could go to because it wasn't taught at the university, and it kind of had a, oh, it's only realistic art. But I pursued it, and I'm very happy that I did.
Right. So that's really your favorite style of painting, is it? The
Mm-hmm.
realism?
Yes. Well, I go from one end to the other, realism to abstract. And in fact, some of my biggest awards have been in abstract. And there's a big
Yeah.
tie-in because there is composition, and all the rules of painting cross over into the two genres. So I was fortunate enough to show overseas in Wales and be part of a North American art show. I've
Yeah.
been showing in Chicago. I've had an awful lot of wonderful opportunities with abstract art. And then on the other hand, on the realism art, I've had some prints reproduced. I've had some beautiful workshops overseas in Italy and in France. And so art has been a very wonderful life for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you're not only an artist, but you are the owner and the teacher at Hidden Talent Art School. So what was it that made you decide to go from artist to art teacher?
I think it was the realization that I could help someone do something they never thought they could ever do. I think most of the
Hmm.
people that walk in the door are going, well, I think
Hmm.
I might like to be an artist. And then when you kind
Hmm.
of lift that magic curtain and take them behind the easel and say, this is what it's really all about, the light goes
Hmm.
off, and then people say, oh my God, I can do this. This is something that is doable, and I can make my own mark with it. And that's probably the icing on the cake, is when the light bulb goes off and you go, wow,
Right.
that person can
Yeah.
now be an artist. Yeah, and
Well,
happy with
that's
their results.
absolutely. So what type of art do you teach? Do you stick to the realism? Is that basically what you are teaching?
Well, my major classes are in realism, and that's to make sure that everyone is grounded in the principles of art, and to make sure
Right.
that whatever other course that I offer, they're going to be able to slip right into it. So I do palette knife, I do watercolor, I do an abstract course, I do glazing, I do speed painting and plein air. So I have a vast amount of workshops to actually refine and hone the skills of the students that I have, and to make sure that they understand that there are other opportunities. What
Right.
we are
Right.
teaching is the basics, and it's what's going to get you the furthest. Many of our
Right.
people have sold paintings, won international awards, have
Hmm.
wonderful polar bear paintings, that kind of thing. So it is, you know, it, to have that foundation just helps everyone go further.
Right, right. No, it's wonderful. I started there with you at Hidden Talent and just had a blast. And I've just kept going. And you actually helped
Mm-hmm.
me a lot. That's my dog Stella, just saying hello to everybody.
Hi,
Um,
Stella.
also, how many students do you teach at a time? Do you have various classes? So, do you have a maximum?
Yes, I have, well, in the pandemic, it's a little different, but I have
Right, right,
7 to 8 classes a week, and usually the average is about 12 per class, depending on if it's a spring session, a summer session. I do lose a few of them to golf, unfortunately. So
right, right,
they want to be out on that golf course.
right.
But
Yeah, now they're open, so they can go.
yes, yeah.
So,
So it has been a little bit of a shock not to have that interaction and that personal touch this
right,
time,
right.
with the social distancing. So I'm trying to progress onto an online
Yeah.
format so that those that
Oh,
miss it,
great.
I think like everyone else, we're going to get online art courses.
Right. Oh, for sure. So you guys, you used to be at the in the Campbell Business Park, and now you've moved to the Riel Business Park. How are you enjoying your new location?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's hard to believe it's almost a year in September that the Minister of Culture came and opened it up. So it was a
Oh,
grand
wow.
opening. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we had a very good group there. We have a very good group there, and they're very
Hmm.
supportive. And it's interesting to have artists upstairs, artists beside you, to share a spot with a fellow
Right.
artist. And
Right.
the community aspect is really wonderful. And again, we plan to do something as a community for the Alberta Culture Days in September. Even if it's
Great.
online, we're going to figure something
Oh,
out.
good. Good. Well, let's hope it doesn't have to be online, but that's wonderful. So,
Yes,
if people
lots of
want to
fun.
get in touch with you, if they want to get in touch with you to do some of your online things, or if they want to sign up for when things are back to whatever our new normal is going to be, how would they get in touch with you?
You can find me at hiddentalentartschool.com. There's a sign up for a newsletter, or you can direct message me there, or 587. Oh my goodness, can I remember my old number? How about this one? 780-446-5453. I haven't phoned it for so long.
That's so funny. Well, that's
Oh,
great,
yeah.
Laura. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for talking to me today. I hope your art continues to be a success, and same with your business. And I hope to see you soon once this is all kind of done, I guess.
Oh, I am ready for a tailgate party somewhere, go somewhere and we all
Yeah,
sit in our cars and wave to each other. Well, thank you,
that's
Memory.
right.
It was a pleasure.
Well, thank you so much. You take care.
You too.
I'm I'm Memory Roth, and this has been Art in the City with TV7.ca.
And that's all she wrote once again in St. Albert. If you have any community events or news you'd like to share with our viewers, as always, please feel free to send us an email at news@tv7.ca. And from all of us at TV7.ca, from our homes, I'm Paul Hukalak. Please stay safe, be kind, and have an amazing week.